Alrighty, we are back with another Islam lore dive. Heck yeah. This was highly requested. Among others, I get so many comments and emails and requests for specific lore dives here. So I feel like this is going to be infinite content. Definitely subscribe. Today, the lore of the Jizya tax. Alright, so I'll tell you what I know about this before we do a deep dive on the actual lore. I'll tell you what I'm familiar with. Jizya was a tax that essentially the Islamists, after conquering an area, they would make the non-Islamists pay a tax or they would die. Pay or die, literally. And if they don't pay this extra tax, this subservience tax, to prove that they are, basically lower life forms, they would kill you. So that's basically as far as I understand it. Now, this is something that I've heard multiple times as actually, the Muslims were always super good to the Jews until Israel showed up. The Muslims always were super good to the Jews. They just simply had them as subservient peasants paying the jizya tax forever, and they wouldn't get massacred in the streets. So anyway, I've always been like, wow, that's so nice. So anyway, definitely lock in, boys and girls. We're gonna do a lore dive today on the jizya tax on this episode of Islam Lore. Oh yeah.
What will the Muslim army do when it has conquered your infidel land?
Good question. Probably treat our women with respect, if I'd have to guess. Maybe open up, I see the protesters and stuff, so I assume that they would open up a homosexual paradise.
If you don't want to convert to Islam, the Muslims will take your money in exchange for your life.
See, that's pretty
This extortion is called jizya.
Extortion? They're literally doing you the greatest of honor possible by not killing you. All right, I feel like I have to tone down the sarcasm on the lore dives. People really take this seriously. Oh boy.
Most of Westerners have no clue what jizya is and thinking that jizya is an example of tolerance in Islam.
Dude, by the way, that's true. People have tried so hard to convince me that jizya is actually tolerance. This is, by the way, a real thing. He's not exaggerating here at all. Because when I used to, when I just started looking into this stuff, I've had a lot of, Muslims explain to me how jizya is actually a tolerant idea. It's how, literally, you won't get killed if you just pay this tax. And it's like, wow, that's really nice. It would even be nicer if I wouldn't need to be, paying this tax and recognize myself as subservient in order to survive. But hey, I guess you take what you could get.
The most obvious examples of the implementation of jizya in the modern world is what the Islamic State has done to non-believers, in this case Christians, in terms of jizya.
Usually,
in the event where the Islamic State slaughters some 30 Christian Ethiopians in Libya on April 2015, the spokesman repeatedly pointed out that payment of jizya is the only way for Christians around the world to safeguard their lives.
That's crazy. That's actually insane.
But whoever refuses to pay a jizya will see nothing from us but the edge of a spear. The men will be killed, and the children will be enslaved, and their wealth will be taken as booty. This is the judgment of Allah and His Messenger.
This is a really good use for AI, by the way. To recreate, these moments. Damn.
When the Islamic State invaded ancient Christian regions around the Nineveh Plain, June 2015, it again declared,
We offer them, the Assyrian Christians, 3 choices. Islam, the Dhimma contract, involving payment of jizya. If they refuse this, they will have nothing but the sword.
See,
the Islamic State...
Look at the tolerance, guys. They're so tolerant. They won't even kill you if you just pay them the jizya tax.
is not alone in calling for jizya from Christian infidels. In 2002, Saudi Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman, discussing the Muslim prophet's prediction that Islam will eventually conquer Rome, said,
"We will control the land of the Vatican. We will control Rome and introduce Islam in it. Yes, the Christians will yet pay us the jizya in humiliation, or they will convert to Islam."
Nice.
A prominent imam, Sheikh Issam Amira,
In Jerusalem.
gave a sermon in the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem in which he lamented that too many Muslims think that jihad is only for defense against aggressors.
Those fools, obviously, is for invasion. Those absolute idiots. Those idiots. Blasphemers. Weak people. Obviously, it's to conquer the world, to introduce peace to everyone, because it is the religion of peace, after all. And peace is defined by Islam as forcing people to follow Sharia law. That is literally the definition for peace. So if they kill you in order to make the rest of you follow Sharia law, they have instituted peace on your land.
When in fact Muslims are also obligated to wage offensive jihad against non-Muslims.
Yeah.
When you face your pagan enemy, call them either to Islam, Jizya, or seek Allah's help and fight them. Even if they do not fight or initiate hostilities, fight them. Fight them. When? When they fight you. No, when they refuse to convert to Islam or refuse to pay jizya. Whether they like it or not, we will subjugate them to Allah's authority.
So, I mean, to be fair, forcing you to pay infinite taxes is better than them murdering you and your family. So I guess it is, I guess it is like merciful in some regard.
The doctrine and history of jizya. So what exactly is jizya?
All right,
the word jizya appears in Quran Surah At-Tawbah verse 29 in an injunction that should be familiar by now. Fight those among the people of the book, which are Christians and Jews, who do not believe in Allah nor the last day, nor forbid what Allah and his messenger have forbidden, nor embrace the religion of truth, until they pay the jizya with willing submission and feel themselves subdued.
So, very important to note, it's not even for the money. All right, it's not for the money. Sure, the money's nice, right? But it's not about the money. It's about submission. Oh my God, it literally says it in the Quran. It literally says in the Quran that the jizya tax is not about the money. It's about the submission. Damn.
In Hadith Sahih Muslim 1731a, the Messenger of Allah, Muhammad, regularly calls on Muslims to demand jizya of non-Muslims. If they refuse to accept Islam, demand from them the jizya. If they agree to pay...
By the way, this is what they mean when they say they're accepting of other religions. All right? You know how America has freedom of religion? Just like Islam! They literally say that. There was this whole demonstration in Texas talking about how Muslims are actually more accepting of different religions than Christians are. Because Christians are, protesting against radical Islam. But radical Islam doesn't protest against Christians. I mean, sure, they have to pay the jizya tax and humiliation. And I guess they're... subject to the death penalty if they don't do that since they're worshiping a pagan god. But aside from that...
Accept it from them and hold off your hands. If they refuse to pay jizya, seek Allah's help and fight them. The second righteous caliph, Omar al-Khattab, reportedly said,
"Any conquered infidel who refuses to convert to Islam must pay the jizya out of humiliation and lowliness.
Nice.
If they refuse this, it is the sword without leniency."
This theme of non-Muslim degradation appears regularly in the commentaries of Islam's authorities. According to the medieval
It seems pretty Islamophobic to talk about this, to be honest.
Islamic Civilization
I'm feeling
Encyclopedia,
very Islamophobic right
Muslim jurists came to view certain repressive and humiliating aspects of dhimma as de rigueur.
I'm pretty sure the dhimmis are like the second-class citizens, the non-Muslims that are forced to pay the jizya.
Dhimmis,
really unfortunate name for this tax, by the way. Jizya, like dog. That is a really unfortunate name.
subjugated non-Muslim Christians and Jews, were required to pay the jizya publicly in broad daylight, with hands turned palm upward, and to receive a smart smack on the forehead or the nape of the neck from the collector.
I didn't realize. No shot. It's not just about paying the taxes. They have to publicly go and pay the taxes and then get slapped in public.
Election officer.
Oh, spit in my mouth while you're doing it, benevolent Muslim. Damn.
Some of Islam's jurists mandated a number of other humiliating rituals at the time of jizya payment, including that the presiding Muslim official slap, choke, and in some cases pull the beard of the paying dhimmi.
Holy shit, bro. What are we doing?
Who might even be required to approach the official on all fours.
Dog. Bro, look how accepting they are of other religions. What is happening? I didn't realize it was that. Like, I knew it was obviously done for showing dominance. I just didn't realize that they would actually require public humiliation or death.
In bestial fashion.
Put simply, conquered non-Muslims like us must pay for our lives, which would otherwise be forfeited to the Muslim conquerors.
Instead of taking our lives, they took our money.
Our lives and possessions are protected only by the payment of jizya.
Past and increasingly present, Muslims profited immensely by exacting jizya from conquered peoples.
For instance, Amr bin al-As, the companion of Prophet Muhammad who conquered Christian Egypt in the early 640s, tortured and killed any Christian Copt who tried to conceal his wealth. When a Copt inquired of him,
How much jizya are we to pay?
the Islamic hero replied,
If you give me all that you own, from the ground to the ceiling, I will not tell you how much you owe. Instead, you, Christian Copts, are our treasure chest, so that if we are in need, you will be in need. And if things are easy for us, they will be easy for you.
So there's no like actual set amount. It's not like a percentage. It's just however much they feel like they deserve at any given time.
Yet even that was not enough.
Damn.
Caliph Uthman later chided Amr bin al-As
because
another governor of Egypt had managed to increase our treasury twice as much as you had. You had to milk the camels, the Christians of Egypt, to produce more milk.
Oh my God, dude.
Years later, yet another caliph, Suleiman Abdul Malik, wrote to the governor of Egypt advising him,
You better milk the camel more until it gives no more milk, and until it milks blood.
In other words, take all the money. Wow, this isn't just like a little tiny itty-bitty tax.
Little wonder Egypt went from being almost entirely Christian in the 7th century to today having a mere 10%, and steadily dwindling thanks to ongoing persecution, Christian minority.
Yep.
Related to the idea of institutionalized jizya is the notion that non-Muslims are fair game to plunder whenever possible. According to the Jizya entry in the original edition of the Encyclopedia of Islam, first published in 1913, with or without doctrinal justification, arbitrary demands for money appeared at times. Even that medieval traveler, Marco Polo, whose chronicles appear impartial, made an interesting observation concerning the Muslims in Tauris, modern-day Iraq, in the 13th century.
According to their doctrine,
These guys' videos are really good.
Whatever is stolen or plundered from others of a different faith is properly taken, and the theft is no crime.
Bro! I'm shocked. Oh my lord, that's wild. See, like, it's so funny to me because every time I see, like, Muslims constantly, obviously the anti-Semitic Muslims specifically, which is just the radical ones, of course. I'm on YouTube. And so, they say that it says in the Talmud that the Jews are allowed to take money from people and steal from the non-Jews. When the Talmud directly states you are not allowed to steal from non-Jews. Like, it's an actual direct quote from the Talmud. You are not allowed to steal or lie to non-Jews. Direct quote. But they will lie about that while it's literally legal, according to Islam, to steal and take property from non-Muslims. It's like every accusation is a confession.
Whilst those who suffer death or injury by the hands of Christians during the course of a plunder-driven raid are considered as martyrs.
Bro! Wait. So you're allowed, according to Islam back in the day, to plunder Christians. And if you get killed, all right, if you get killed while you are plundering them, you're considered a martyr.
These principles are common to all Saracens Muslims.
All this is echoed in recent times by the words of Sheikh Abu Ishaq al-Huwaini, spoken a few years ago, concerning what the Muslim world should do to overcome its economic problems.
فنحن في زمان الجهاد وقد أظلنا زمان الجهاد والجهاد في سبيل الله متعة الصحابة كانوا يتسابقون عليه هو احنا الفقر اللي احنا فيه إلا في سبب ترك الجهاد مش كنا لو كل سنة عمالين نغزو مرة ولا اثنين ولا ثلاثة
they like just openly talk about how they're planning on doing jihad operations.
مش كان حيسلم ناس كثيرون في الأرض واللي يرفض هذه الدعوة ويحول بيننا وبين دعوة الناس مش بنقاتله وناخدوه نأسرى وناخدوا أموالهم وأولادهم ونسائهم.
Just confiscate his children. That's nice. Confiscate his women. Good stuff.
وكل دي عبارة عن فلوس.
Very nice.
كل واحد مجاهد كان بيرجع من الجهاد وهو جيبه مليان.
Love that.
ليه معاه 2 3 شحطة و3 4 نسوان و3 4 ولاد. اضرب كل راس 300 درهم ولا 300 دينار ولا حاجة تطلعها في مالية كويس. لو هو راح عشان يعمل خطة تجارية في بلاد الغرب عمره ما يعمل الأموال دي.
Why should we do it through business when we could do it through plundering? Wow. And we wonder why the Somali pirates are coming into America.
وكل ما يتعذر ياخد راس يبيع. ويفك أزمته ويبقى له الغلبة.
So, it was for well over a millennium, Muslim rulers and mobs extorted money from infidels under their sway as a legitimate way to profit. Much of this financial fleecing came to an end thanks to direct European intervention.
Yeah, no shit.
Beginning in the mid-19th century, one Muslim region after another abolished the jizya
We all know
and gave
why.
non-Muslims...
It's because they were literally getting... Okay, I'm so tired of making believe that this is not the reason for, like, all this shit. The reason why a lot of these Muslim countries abolished the jizya tax, and the reason why a lot of these African countries abolished, slavery, and they all did it at the same time, was purely because of European intervention, because Western values are not tolerant of this sort of shit, and they had to stop in order to get infinite free shit from the West. All right? Literally, I feel like that's it. This is how they appease the West that gives them so much stuff.
unprecedented rights, originally to appease Western powers,
Absolutely.
later in emulation of Western governance. The Ottoman Empire's Hat-i-Humayun decree of 1856 abolished the jizya in many Ottoman-ruled territories. Elsewhere in the Muslim world, the jizya was gradually abolished wherever Western powers were present.
Yeah, no duh. Couldn't threaten them.
Today, however, as Muslims reclaim their Islamic heritage, often to the approval
In
and
England, no.
encouragement of a West, now
True.
under the spell of multiculturalism,
There it is.
jizya, whether institutionalized as under the Islamic State or as a rationale to plunder infidels, is back.
Bro, it
Even
is.
in the West, in
It is.
2013.
I mean, you literally look at how the government is using funds. Like, there was just a terrorist attack that took place in Germany that ended up causing 45,000 houses in Germany to lose power. And you know what the government did? The government immediately took the migrants and put them up in migrant hotels before actually trying to help the freezing German citizens. In fact, an 80-year-old woman died of hypothermia because of this. But they literally ran to immediately help the migrants before they helped, the Germans, which is absolutely wild.
A UK Muslim preacher who was receiving more than £25,000 annually in welfare benefits referred to British taxpayers as slaves and explained,
We take the jizya, which is our haq anyway. The normal situation, by the way, is to take money from the kafir, isn't it? So this is the normal situation. They give us the money, you work, give us the money, Allahu Akbar. We take the money.
I mean, is he wrong? Is he wrong? I'm sorry if I have any British guys watching this video, but is he wrong? Like, you are kind of his slaves. Like, I don't want to be rude here. You have a Muslim government at this point. You have Keir Starmer, who just now, all right, I'm sorry, I know this is getting off topic. He literally just passed a bill getting first cousin marriage. He blocked a bill that would ban first cousin marriage.
And marriage between first cousins carries significant health issues, many of which aren't even knowable until post-birth.
Right, so this guy's trying to do a bill to stop first cousin marriage because, they import a lot of these people that happen to be having sex with their first cousins. And Keir Starmer shows up and immediately decides, nope, we're not doing that.
Taken our position on that bill, thank you.
He already made his position clear. We will allow them to keep fucking their cousins. Let's make this clear. Very cool. Anyway, so, this is the level of slave you are. Absolutely, you're slaves. Sorry, British taxpayers, you are slaves. You might not be aware of that, but you are. You have to pay taxes or you're going to be punished. And those taxes go to things that you don't want them to go to. You are working where half of your income is going to taxes, where half of those taxes are going to bullshit that's destroying your country. I don't know how to say this. This is mandatory labor. You are slaves.
Academic lies about jizya.
All right, what else do we got?
Yet if Muslims, from Islamic State jihadis to Egyptian university professors, know the truth about jizya, the West is today oblivious thanks to its leading authorities on Islam. Western academics and other experts and talking heads.
No one talks about this.
Consider the following excerpt from John Esposito, director of the Prince Al-Walid Center for Muslim-Christian Understanding at Georgetown University, and a widely acknowledged go-to source for anything Islamic.
In many ways, local populations, the Christians, Jews, and others, found Muslim rule more flexible and tolerant than that of Byzantium and Persia.
They all do this. They literally all do this. This is like the historic whitewashing that happens every time. And I've heard this. I've heard this direct thing. That's why I'm so involved in this story. I heard this directly. Okay? Actually, before Israel, the Muslims were super good to the Jews. They welcomed the Jews in their countries. And it's like, well, Well, no, they made them second-class citizens and subservient, forced to crawl to give taxes and then get slapped and get their beards pulled for public humiliation, where they would execute them if they didn't give enough taxes. That's not exactly, under a super benevolent rule.
Religious communities were free to practice their faith, to worship and be governed by their religious...
They all do this. Actually, it was super tolerant of other religions.
...leaders and laws in such areas as marriage, divorce, and inheritance. In exchange, they were required to pay tribute, a poll tax, or jizya that entitled them to Muslim protection from outside aggression. And
You're paying them for protection. This is literally just like how the mafia forces you to pay them for protection when it's literally they're just threatening to kill you.
Exempted them from military service. Thus, they were called the protected ones, or dhimmi. In effect, this often meant lower taxes, greater local autonomy.
Despite the almost gushing tone related to Muslim rule, the idea that jizya was extracted in order to buy Muslim protection from outside aggression is an outright lie.
Yeah, it's protection from them. It's like, I will kill you, but if you give me $10, I'll protect you, from me.
Equally false is Esposito's assertion that jizya was paid to exempt them, non-Muslims, from military service, as if conquering Muslims would even want or allow their conquered infidel subjects to fight alongside them in the name of jihad without first converting to Islam.
It was a holy war.
In reality, and as demonstrated above via the words of a variety of authoritative Muslims, past and present, jizya was and is indeed protection money, though protection not from outsiders, as Esposito and others claim, but
Bro, I love these 3D images he's using.
Protection money.
All right, so this one's the Christian, this one's the Jew.
Though protection not from outsiders, as Esposito
this one's the Jew.
and others
Oh, fuck. All right, sorry. I'm sure he didn't mean that. All right, anyway.
claim, but from surrounding Muslims themselves.
Whether it is the first caliphate from over a millennium ago, or whether it is the newest caliphate, the Islamic State, Muslim overlords continue to deem the lives of their infidel subjects forfeit unless they purchase it, ransom it with money.
Damn.
Put differently, the subjugated infidel is a beast to be milked until it gives no more milk till it milks blood, to quote the memorable words of an early caliph.
There is nothing humane, reasonable, or admirable about demands for jizya from conquered non-Muslim minorities, as the academics claim.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's just a whitewashing of history. It's like saying that white people are the only ones with slaves. It's the same exact idea. It's like, white people did slavery. Yeah, all right. So did literally every culture ever. But white people are uniquely bad. And it's this whitewashing, honestly, it's historical revisionism, and quite literally done particularly to pick and choose different parts of history that they want to use to control you and to push the narratives that they want into society.
Jizya is simply extortion money. Its purpose has always been to provide non-Muslims with protection from Muslims. Pay up, or else convert to Islam, or else die.
Shut up! You just shut up and pay up, okay?
In short, jizya is yet another ugly fact of Islam. Add to offensive jihad, imperialism, misogyny, slavery, etc. One that, distort as they may, the academics cannot whitewash away, even as the world stands idly by watching its resumption in the 21st century.
But they're trying. They're trying. That was a really good video. I never watched... I think I did watch one Raymond Ibrahim video before, but this was really good. Anyway, very excited to see future videos. This guy's good. I'm going to watch more of his stuff. Let me know future stuff you want me to watch. This was the lore dive on Jizya. Yeah, no, I didn't realize it was that humiliating, and that they were able to just literally, legally plunder whoever they wanted, milk them until they're out of milk and they bleed. I mean, that's pretty wild. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, I was familiar with the whitewashing of it, because I also heard directly from sources saying that actually the Jizya was super good to the Jews. It was way better to the Jews than the Jews in other places, because the Jews were welcome to live in the lands of the Muslims, and super well. All they had to do was pay a little tribute money for protection from them, or else they will kill you. And the little protection money is basically as much as they want to take at any given time, and also comes with a side dish of humiliation. So anyway, yeah, that's Jizya. Thanks for being here. Hope you enjoyed. Very unfortunate name for the tax, though. Jizya. Yikes. That's rough, buddy. That's rough. Definitely subscribe for more lore every day. New lore here on Taku. Bye.